How the rich really make their money, it's not what you think. There's a system that's hidden in plain sight. A system that keeps the ultra-wealthy at the top, while the rest of us are left struggling to keep up. It's a game, but the rules are rigged. They don't want you to know how it's played. You've heard the stories of billionaires making their fortunes. But what if I told you the truth behind their wealth is nothing like what you've been told? It's not about hard work. It's not about innovation. The truth is buried deep within a web of secrets, lies, and manipulation. Today, I'm going to reveal the shocking, little-known facts about how the rich really make their money and how they're keeping it from you. Imagine a world where money flows like water, not just in the hands of a few, but in massive rivers controlled by those who own industries, who dictate policies, who influence governments. These people own private jets, islands, and entire skyscrapers. While most of us can barely afford rent, billionaires control the media, shape economies, and essentially create the rules for how the game is played. And yet, despite all this wealth and influence, most people have no idea just how the richest people in the world are making their money, and more importantly, how they're hiding it from you. There's an enormous gap between the rich and the average person, and it's getting wider by the day. The wealthiest individuals in the world don't just make money. They make it in a way that keeps them hidden, out of sight and out of mind. But the truth is, the money they're hoarding isn't as clean as you think. In fact, it's carefully hidden behind complex systems designed to protect it from prying eyes. And the tax man? Billionaires aren't just wealthy, they're hiding their wealth. And I don't mean putting it under their mattress. I'm talking about sophisticated strategies that involve offshore accounts, tax havens, and shell companies. How is this possible? Well, let's start with the simple truth. The wealthiest people in the world don't pay taxes the way you and I do. They don't have their income tax the same way because they have entire teams of lawyers and financial experts who know exactly how to shelter it. They use offshore accounts to hide their money in countries where taxes are almost non-existent. They funneled their earnings through shell companies that exist only on paper in places like the Cayman Islands or Luxembourg, where they can legally avoid paying taxes. It's a game of hide and seek, and the wealthiest players are experts at it. And while they're hiding their money in these loopholes, they're paying less in taxes than the average worker. Let that sink in for a second. Billionaires, with all their resources, are paying a smaller percentage of their income in taxes than the middle class. This isn't a mistake, it's by design. Now, how exactly do billionaires hide their money? They've created an entire system designed to keep their wealth invisible. They use trusts, offshore accounts, and shell companies to shield their assets from public view. These systems are so complex that even financial experts can have trouble understanding them. But these systems aren't just for tax evasion. They're built to ensure that even if their wealth is traced, it's hard to access. By using multiple layers of companies in different jurisdictions, they make it nearly impossible to track down the true owner of the money. In a sense, billionaires have created their own financial ecosystem, one that's beyond the reach of the tax authorities and regular people. And while we're stuck paying our bills, working hard to make ends meet, they're sitting on billions that are completely untouchable. It's operating in a world where they make their own rules. Now, here's the thing: this system they've created isn't something that's meant to be known. The truth about how billionaires are avoiding taxes and hiding their wealth is something that's carefully guarded. It's kept quiet by the media, and the rich have powerful allies who ensure that these secrets never get out. Why is this kept hidden? Because if the truth came out, it could cause a revolution. People would rise up demanding change, and the system as we know it would crumble. It's easier to let people believe that hard work and dedication are the only paths to success, while the real truth, the hidden system of billionaire wealth, is kept out of sight. But let's talk about taxes for a moment, because this is where the real scandal lies. Billionaires use tax havens to avoid paying the taxes you and I are expected to pay. Countries like the Cayman Islands, Panama, and Switzerland are famous for their tax laws that allow wealthy individuals and corporations to hide their profits and avoid paying taxes. But here's the kicker. This isn't illegal, at least not In most cases, it's all perfectly legal because the system was built to allow it. There's nothing preventing billionaires from using these loopholes. They've found ways to minimize their tax liabilities to the point where they're paying almost nothing compared to their earnings. And let's not forget about the creative tax avoidance methods they use, from setting up charitable foundations that allow them to get tax breaks, to using offshore trusts that further reduce their taxable income. It's a tax scam, and the only ones losing out are the rest of us. But it's not just about hiding money. Billionaires also have immense influence over governments and financial systems. They fund political campaigns, lobby for favorable legislation, and even create the laws that benefit them the most. This influence allows them to stay above the law, protect their wealth, and avoid scrutiny. In fact, many of the world's most powerful politicians are in the pockets of the wealthiest individuals. Through their influence, billionaires can make sure that their wealth continues to grow. While the rest of us are left behind, we've all heard the story: work hard, and you can make it big. The American dream is built on the idea that anyone can achieve success through hard work and perseverance. But the truth is, that dream is a myth, especially when it comes to becoming a billionaire. The system is rigged. Billionaires don't make their money through hard work alone. They use their wealth and power to make more money. They control the rules, and they've created a system that keeps them in power while the rest of us struggle. It's not about the American dream, it's about the American illusion. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for billionaires. While they're living the high life, there's always the looming fear that their secrets will be exposed. The more wealth they accumulate, the more they have to hide. The system they've built isn't foolproof, and if the truth ever gets out, it could have catastrophic consequences. Billionaires live in fear of losing everything. They fear the public backlash, the scrutiny, and the potential for the system to come crashing down. Their wealth may be growing, but so are the risks of exposure. But here's the thing. The billionaires aren't just playing for today. They're playing the long game. They're using their influence and their wealth to ensure that their money continues to grow indefinitely. They're building systems that will last for generations, and they're betting that at scale, they can maintain control over the global economy. Billionaires are not just thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about the next 50 years. They know that as long as they keep growing their influence, their wealth will only continue to grow with it. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means we need to wake up. We need to stop believing the lies we've been told about hard work and success. The system isn't built for you to win. It's built for the billionaires to keep winning. But here's the good news. Knowledge is power. Once we understand how the game is really played, we can start to change the rules. It's time to take control of our own financial futures and start challenging the system that's been rigged against us for so long. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and hit subscribe if you want more deep dives into how the rich really make their money.